One show at a time.
Hey, everybody. We got Evan Dills here from Pristine Projects in New York. Hey, Evan, how's it going?
It's good, Dave. I see you haven't seen the rebrand so far. We're now Pristine Auto Spa.
Yes, of course. Pristine Auto Spa. Okay, and we're going to talk about your rebranding, how you came about, and your journey to where you are today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're at, your struggles, and then how are things going today?
So I guess I'll start off by saying that, just like anybody, humbly, we started off either in our mom's garage or in our used car. And I used to just go to people's houses door to door and mobile detail. And now I own a 6-figure shop. I've got multiple employees. I've got 4,000 square feet worth of shop to do window tint, ceramic coatings, and detailing. And thanks to Dave and his wonderful company, he's allowed me to be profitable and buy me, the things I want.
Great, great. And where are you located?
Springville, New York. So it's
Springville,
over
New
by
York.
like Buffalo, by Lake Erie, west
Okay.
side.
And what's it like outside today?
It's very cold, very, very cold and snowy and
Cold and
dreadful.
snowy.
And nobody, if you're, in a winter state or anywhere with snow, that business kind of sucks, especially when you gotta be more of a go getter in the winter.
Right. Okay, so you got started small, just like everybody else gets started small, and now you have employees, an awesome shop. How is the employee thing going? Everybody complains about the employee thing.
Well, I would say that if I were to do this again, I would probably never do it without employees, because employees are probably one of the best things I ever done for my business, because it allows me to delegate my time to tasks that, well, nobody else wants to do other than me, which is sales and scheduling and decorating and pretty much anything else you could think of. Employees also, like, if anybody knows, installing a ceramic coating in the heat or by yourself in a garage, it can be really taxing on the body. And when you have a teammate or a couple of team members, it really relieves a lot of that pressure. And, we could all do 3 coatings in a day if we wanted to together, and we'd still go home feeling like $1,000,000 because we had that help.
Right. Excellent. And it sounds like you've hired some good employees, you train them well, and you're confident that they can do the job while you're out doing other things, sales, you're a content creator, and you're comfortable with all that. Is that right?
Yeah, it's all in the leader. You're your employee's biggest influence, and you have to remember that. If you're in here, you know, chewing gum with your feet up on the desk and, scrolling through TikTok all day, that's what your employees are going to do. So you're going to have to, one of the biggest reasons I like to jump in and out of working and sales and, I like to be there with them is for the respect, because if your employees don't see you and if they see you on a computer all day, most of the time they're going to lose just a little bit of respect for you. So I like to be in the trenches with them.
Respect is important. Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about your rebranding, your old name and your new name, and how was it to rebrand your whole business? Was that difficult?
Yeah, it was. I kind of knew going into it that it was going to be a little difficult, and I knew it was going to be time consuming because I had so much established, so much signage and literature and apparel, like uniforms in my old logo. My old brand used to be Pristine Projects Auto Detailing, and it just didn't roll off the tongue very nicely. So I changed it to Pristine Auto Spa because it sounds nicer. It has a little bit of a luxury feel to it. And I had my logo redone. I had a lot of things redone. I paid somebody to do it for me because I was never great at designing anything. And, just
Okay, great. So we've talked a little bit about your rebranding and how it was quite a struggle, but you hired somebody to actually do the rebranding for you, do the logo, do everything, and so it all worked out well. Is that right?
Yeah, it worked out amazingly. I mean, he designed everything from business cards to gift certificates to this little banner I have behind me. You can even see that it just shows, like it even says why choose a ceramic. Just, great stuff. I won't get into it, but I can show you a little bit about it. He designed me my own patterns that I could use if I wanted to use them in Canva. He's got the gift certificates, new business cards. And, I could go into this all day, but, first impression is everything when it comes to a customer. And if they see that you're the authority and that you hold the possession to have such a powerful, colorful, unique brand, the chances of them going with you are just increased. And that's the value I saw in it. But if anybody else is looking to rebrand their business, definitely put away, like, just understand it's going to take probably like half a year. It can take less, it could take more, but you don't realize how much you have to go through and redo. And it was very expensive too. It was just for the logo redesign and some of those things. It was over $2,000 just for the logo. And then you take into account all the apparel you have to order, all the signage, all the time you need to spend on your social media, your websites to change everything. It was 100% worth it. We come off as more professional, and that was the goal with it. And I wanted to make sure my logo didn't look like everybody else's. And that was the most important thing to me, is because, detailers, a lot of their logos look the same, right?
With a car and then their name underneath it.
I know it's kind of contradictory. I have Auto Spa in my name, but I think it's more important to stand out with your logo and your brand more so than the name. I think the name plays a little bit of a role, but the way you show yourself.
And color choice as well, that light purple, and nobody else is using that. So whenever I see it and I see the little polisher, I know exactly, your new branding. Okay, great. So we talked about how you got here, your redesign, some of the challenges you have there in the New York area in the snow. We're talking off camera on that. How do you deal with getting new customers to come to the shop when there's snow outside?
So usually around this time of the year, I start putting money into paid advertisements like Meta and Google. Google doesn't seem to work in my area because there's not a lot of people, and the search volume in the winter seems to go down for Google. So that's why we're shifting focus to Meta. Meta ads work, but at the same time, you're spending a little more money just to stay afloat, and that could be annoying. One of the things that could also help is just by making more organic content, keeping people informed, maybe explaining why winter is a good time to get your car protected. Do things like that. Post more, post frequently, because your business momentum is going to go with your momentum, if that makes sense. Once you start losing motivation, you can kind of see it bleed into your business. And I'm kind of projecting a little because lately I haven't had a lot of motivation due to the weather, but it's picking back up.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the 90-day rule?
No.
So a lot of people, things are going great. I can cut back on my advertising. It's rocking. But about the 90 days of not doing much, everything stops. So that work that you're doing and the feelers you're putting out will probably come to fruition now, a month, but in 3 months is when, if you stop, people, the way the internet works, the way people are with Christmas and birthdays, people just get busy. They forget who you are. So if you stop doing sales, you stop advertising, and around 90 days, the brakes just turn on and your business just grinds to a halt, and you're like, where did everybody go? Well, it's not them, it's you. You stopped 90 days ago, and now you're feeling it. So it has to be a constant thing. You have to, just like the Anthony we talked to yesterday, he's talking about, he always has an ad on Facebook, and he has for 10 years. And it's just always going, and he always has a flow of customers. And so you're always putting stuff out. So let's segue into getting new customers. And one of the ways that you're unique is you put out a lot of content. You have quirky videos, you have awesome videos, you do things so much differently. I've never seen anybody in the detailing realm do content like you do. Tell us a little bit about why you do it, how you do it, and how that's working for you.
It's funny you say that, because I would say about maybe 20 to 30% of my videos are kind of like inspired from other people. Like, I'll take their idea and make my own kick out of it, or I'll just straight up plagiarize. But we all know that everybody steals ideas, and
Sure.
Instagram's limitless. That when a customer is interested in your service and they scroll through your social media, even if it's just a funny video, you're building trust with them and rapport, and you're showing that you're a human and not just a robot. So even if it's a video that has nothing to do about what you do for work, it's still better than nothing. You're getting people to recognize you, that you're still there and that you're still working, doing your thing. I took an organic content strategy training earlier this year, and some of the little golden nuggets I got out of it was post on your story 3 to 5 times a day, post at least once a day or 5 days a week, and you'll get a consistent flow of organic leads. And everybody knows that an organic lead is much easier to close than one that you have to pay for. So I post on also platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and that's just to get the most out of it. And being consistent is key. So just
Right.
post a lot.
And you're kind of in a rural area, and you have, if you were in a big city, you would probably need a gate out front with all the and keep the people out, because would have so much business. But you're in a rural area, and it seems to be working. And I really like watching the videos. You come sliding in on the chair, and you say something funny, or you do a skit with your employees. It's really engaging, and I just haven't seen anybody else doing that, and not in this realm. I see them in other spots in marketing and business, but not in this realm right here. So keep doing those awesome videos, and I hope that that even grows the business even more. So let's talk about a little bit about where you were a year ago November, even though it's December now, a year ago November to this year November, and how things have changed financially and business like.
So a year ago in November, I was in a much smaller shop, and I had the choice in December to make the leap to go to a bigger shop. And it was really, with business, there's risks. And if you're not taking risks, you're not going to grow. So I took that risk. And last year in November, I made about 17 grand. And this year in November, we made about 40 grand. Mind you, I have 3 more employees. We have a much larger space. We have a bit more overhead and more responsibility, but it's worth it this way. I mean, we have a waiting room and we have 2 bays. They're organized, they're clean, they're new builds, and it was just worth it. If you're not taking risks, you're not in for the long haul. You don't learn by being complacent.
Yes. So all that's working out. You gambled, you rolled the dice, go from, you said 14 grand,
It's like 17 to 40.
17 to 40. That's a big leap.
It
Employees
is.
don't cost that much. Rent's not that high. You have a lot of extra money to do marketing and create more videos. And even if this is a slow time before Christmas, I know I'm trying to make these videos to be timeless, but we are right before Christmas. It is a slow part of the season. It is snowing outside. Hopefully business picks up a little bit, but maybe it doesn't until the first of the year. But this is a good time to make some more quirky videos and some cool things out there to market and post to your stories and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to transition to one of the last things we're going to talk about today, and that's going to be tips and tricks or advice would you give a up and coming detailer or somebody that's already been in the business for a while?
I think we've touched on a lot of those things already. And number one is hiring an employee is not as difficult as it sounds. I always made it to be some sort of hyper complicated thing that I had to talk to an accountant for and get licenses for. I don't know why I was like this way, but it's really as simple as just either downloading an app or hiring another person to run payroll for you. And I would hire an employee pretty much as soon as you're 1 to 2 weeks booked out. I would say 1 week booked out, because customers don't want to wait. And that's money on the table that you're leaving. And when you're booked out longer, the chances of cancellations just increase. So get employees as soon as you can, as soon as it makes sense, because if you don't make that risk, you're never going to grow.
Okay. All right. Employees. We use Gusto, and that they handle
Totally.
all the payroll. And okay. And there's also some workman's comp thing, and that's handled by the state. And that's it. It's, you run it every 2 weeks. You push the button. It comes out of the bank account. Seems pretty easy to me.
Another piece of advice I would like to give is definitely get them on payroll ASAP, because I used to pay my employees cash for like a year. And the thing is when you pay your employees cash, you're giving away the farm. That cash is supposed to be meant for you. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to be able to reap the benefits of the cash, and nobody is reaping those benefits if you're just giving it away and not running payroll legitimately. And not only that, but payroll is a tax write-off, so no matter what, you're not going to be paying the withholding taxes on it anyway.
Right, right. How about we transition in real quick to products, tools? Is there something that makes your life, and your employees' lives easier and better with some of the, new things that have come out recently?
My employees really like XV2. I don't know if you've ever heard of that coating. It's a really great ceramic coating that they, it's super easy to apply. And, we have a great relationship with Mr. Dave here. So that makes our business a lot easier. We use a lot of the Pearl Nano products, and they're super nice to use. And when you have a product that is effortless to use and doesn't have streaking or problems with it, the employees are happy and you're happier because they're getting the job done quicker. And, we get it at a decent price. So
Excellent. This wasn't a paid ad. I wasn't
no, it
leading into
wasn't.
that. I appreciate that. Now, what about you do have product on hand there on the shelf. Do you sell a lot of product, or do you get that question? Well, now that you did my car and you charged me $2,000, how do I maintain it? And then what do you say?
Yeah. So, I mean, I always have some products on the shelf. Like sometimes I have customers come in, they know exactly what iron remover is, and they can't find it anywhere locally because it's just Walmart and AutoZone. They don't carry iron remover for the most part. It's just wheel cleaners and stuff. We have it here, and it's convenient for them. I always supply my customers with a bottle of Speed Coat. When they're done with the coating, just as a little thank you. And, you could just wipe your car down with Speed Coat if you maintain it once a week. But, the glass cleaner is great too because people don't know what glass cleaner to use. There's so many different kinds, and they're always talking about streaks. And I think the glass cleaner you have is great. I think every brand has their golden products, and I think there's definitely quite a few I pick from your brand. But when it comes to just like wheel cleaners, I like to buy them from other companies in bulk.
It all works. Whatever works for your
Yeah.
business. That's what I say. If Pearl Nano works, great, use it. If it doesn't, or you want to if it's cheaper somewhere else or works better, or you have the guy across the street that can supply it, hey, you do what's best for your business. I always say that.
Yeah, and I don't think one company can be the best at absolutely everything, but sometimes you find the ones that do satisfy at least most of your needs.
Great, great, great. Well, hey, we sure we've covered a lot of ground here. We went from how you got here, your rebranding, your content creating, products, how to deal with the weather. Last thing, since I'm a sales and marketing guy and we were talking about sales earlier, how are you improving your sales ability and moving forward for 2026?
I always it's this time of year where I start to question my sales ability and wonder if like I really have it. But I need to remind myself that your first 1 to 3 calls in the day are always going to be like your rustiest. You just got to get in the motion and grease up the cogs, and you need to put your reps in. You're not going to understand how to sell unless you make a bunch of uncomfortable phone calls. Eventually, you're just going to get it. You need to do it. And that goes with anything in life. You're not going to be good at it until you get the reps in and you start working out.
But you're not cold calling. These are warm leads that are coming in from your website that possibly want something done on their car, but sometimes you close them and sometimes you don't. I don't know why people contact companies and then don't follow through, but that happens, right?
Yeah, it's maybe I'm not transparent enough upfront about the price. I mean, sometimes, it's the best thing to do. You kind of have to build the value and then give them the price. But sales is difficult. It's one of the most difficult things about owning the business, in my opinion, from what I've experienced. It's not easy. And if I could get paid 6 figures to detail a car versus sales, I'd detail the car.
It is uncomfortable. Yes, but with sales, your income can be infinite,
Yeah, that's
but your
true.
time is also infinite as well. So
It's
overcoming objections, figuring out if it's an objection or a complaint, that's a big thing that people, you don't take it personally. There's a lot of different hurdles to jump over on the sales side of things, but I think it all boils down to trust. They don't feel something. I don't know. We can go into that in another podcast episode.
What's your number one trust building sequence? Like, what do you do in order to build somebody's trust? Is it a series of
I'm just
questions?
completely open and honest, and this is what it is. This is what it does. Here's the value. They have to see the value. When you just put it's $1,200, they're like, for what? They don't know that you're polishing on this thing for 15 hours, 20 hours, and it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to make this. So they don't understand that. So education, showing the value, and then oh, by the way, it's going to be $1,200, but I do have a coupon for $100 off, and if you get in here this week while it's snowing,
Right.
people like a sale.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's awesome talking with you, Evan. I appreciate you being here on the show and sharing all your nuggets of wisdom. And
Thanks for having me on, Dave. I appreciate it.
all right. Well, we'll talk to you on the next show coming up, maybe in about a year. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Calling all detailers, gather around the sound, a place to learn the secrets that will lift you off the ground. Tips and tools and stories shared from shop to shop, helping you grow stronger with each neatly polished drop. Calling all detailers podcast, guiding every grind, helping detailers make more money, one show at a time. From the first rinse of the morning to the final shine at night, the wisdom in each episode will help you get it right. Raise your rates with confidence, let your business climb. Tune in and keep leveling, one detail at a time. Calling all detailers podcast, guiding every grind, helping detailers make more money, one show at a time. Calling all detailers podcast, guiding every grind, helping detailers make more money, one show